November the 1st, 2018, during the final Smash Direct before the game's release, Masahiro Sakurai gave us our first look at the World of Light, SmashUltimate's Adventure Mode. Unlike Brawl's Subspace Emissary, which put a large emphasis on platforming, World of Light utilizes the new spirit system as a means of progressing through this mode. Each spirit you fight is a glorified Smash match with various conditions and hazards meant to represent the characters that the spirit embodies. There are two forms of spirits, primary and support spirits. Primary spirits grant you significant stat boosts depending on the type: attack, shield, grab, and neutral. Support spirits provide you with resistance to hazards or further buffs like strength in special attacks or stronger aerials. Defeating spirits on your journey will allow you to use them, and they can be leveled up to 99. Some primary spirits like Tetra, Zelgius, and Zero can be enhanced at max level, transforming into new and improved spirits whilst having the level reset to 1. Throughout World of Light, you unlock shops by spirits, snacks to increase XP and boost your fighter, as well as a dojo to change the stats of a spirit. Furthermore, you have the option to bolster your fighter even further with more stat boosts through the skill tree. Players activate nodes on the tree by spending skill spheres obtained from defeating powerful enemies like possessed fighters and bosses alongside chests. The implementation of these typical RPG elements helps you flesh out the campaign beyond the battles you can find on the spirit board spread across the map. The first few battles in World of Light help to settle you into this expansive adventure, though it gets progressively tedious the more you carry on. It becomes less of a fun approach to fighting and more of a smash attack fest, having to KO the opponent before the odds overwhelm you. Traversing the map in search of more spirits and secrets also adds to the tedium. Having to run back and forth ad nauseum in order to get your bearings is quite tiring. The puzzles scattered across the map add variety to what is otherwise a gauntlet of matches, and it was a nice touch seeing puzzle solving elements here. A game celebrating essentially the history of gaming should have callbacks to the games that are a part of this masterpiece, and Smash Ultimate delivers. Even down to the minigames, the franchises they represent are honoured with a little fun trip down memory lane. The Gourmet Lane minigame captures the vibrant and innocent aesthetic of the Kirby games, having a bunch of delicious food and drink spread across pathways. To fight a specific spirit, or unlock King DDD by means other than doing constant versus battles, you'd have to go through the road of sustenance in a particular way. I just find it fun seeing someone as hardcore as Snake waddle his way past a melody of meals expecting him to gorge them down in a matter of seconds. Even if I don't actually get what I need during Gourmet Race, it still offers a sense of replayability in the campaign. However, one of the greatest aspects of World of Light are the bosses you encounter when you enter a specific area modelled after video game worlds like Hyrule or Bowser's Castle. You undergo a series of trials and tribulations in the lead up to a boss, and the arduous journey pays off once you beat them as they turn into spirits that you can use in battle. The bosses themselves represent the franchise they originate from splendidly. For example, the attack pattern of Rathalos is pretty much identical to his one in the Monster Hunter games. I'm a massive Castlevania nut, so seeing a full-on 3D Dracula with his Symphony of the Night design borrowing attacks from games across the franchise is just wonderful. But you can't have this version of Dracula without the monster that doesn't belong in this world. His first form is already hard enough to beat, having to dodge projectiles that would otherwise be near impossible to dodge in their respective games. But after you seemingly defeat him, he transforms into the Winged Demon of Darkness and attacks with brute force, rather than calculated projectiles. The way he operates as a boss in Smash screams, and it goes to show the sheer amount of dedication Sakurai and his development team put in to see this ambitious project come into fruition. They're a sight to behold and an absolute joy to fight. Which brings me on to my next point, Galeem. He's hyped up to be this be-all, end-all boss to confront once he freed enough spirits from his control, the divine choir elevating the intensity of the orchestra in the background as you take on the one responsible for eliminating the likes of even Bayonetta and Palutena makes this battlefield something special. A 2-decade culmination of gaming history. What you play as went from some toys in a kid's room brought to life to the saviors of the universe. That thought alone means a lot for how much the Smash series evolved since the N64 days. The boss fight with him is freaking awesome, and it truly felt like there were stakes in the world of Smash. And then there's the world of Dark. turns out, there's an entire other map about the same size as the World of Light to sink more of your precious time into. This belongs to the dark counterpart of Galeem, Dharkon. It's like World of Light, but if the brightness slider was turned all the way down. There's a ton of extra content to explore, which adds more value to the single player experience of Smash Ultimate when the game's lifespan is often carried by its online. The contrast between light and dark is emphasized heavily with the tone of the two worlds, in atmosphere, music, and spirits. The music that plays as you initially explore the World of Light evokes a sense of mystery and carefree adventure. This mirrors the music played in the World of Dark, connoting destruction, despair, and the apocalypse. The tone takes a full 180 the moment you step into the other world, and it shows. What I like especially about the World of Dark are the sub-areas modelled after franchises like The Legend of Zelda, and the Zelda-themed sub-area, Sacred Land, expresses its appreciation for the series it is inspired by, with the map shaped like the Triforce. It's a no-brainer inclusion, to be frank, but that's not where the references stop. There are sections like the Lost Woods, Gerudo Desert, and an area containing the Master Sword, which pays homage to recurring areas in the series. The messages of the owl statues are also thematically brilliant, discussing the importance of wisdom and courage and the battle between light and dark. It's an excellent piece of foreshadowing. Everything I just said before regarding the exploration and the fights and spirit battles apply here as well. But what if I told you there was even more content beyond that? Indeed, after beating Dharkon, Galeem returns to launch an all-out attack on Dharkon, and thus the final battle begins. You are tasked with freeing spirits equally from both sides, strategizing what side you need to support to keep things in balance to unlock the true ending. There are other endings depending on which entity you want to target, but fighting both head-on is the definitive way to complete this adventure. There's a spectacular one-off segment where you officially play as the Master Hand for the first time in Smash history. No hacks, no mods. You take control of a boss people have been longing to play as, using his signature moves to ward off the army of fighters. It's a missed opportunity for having a mode where you can play as just Master Hand, as this gameplay segment is possibly one of the reasons why I go back to the campaign, even after having finished it fully. Remember what I said about the owls in the Sacred Land, foreshadowing the battle between light and dark? This is that prophecy which has come to pass. When you successfully engage in a tumultuous battle with Galeem and Dharkon, it doesn't start right off the bat. And the thing is, they're not exactly fighting you together. It's more so a three-way conflict between you, the light, and the darkness. You fight their character clones, whilst trying to avoid their attacks as you climb up an escalating set of platforms. Meanwhile, Galeem and Dharkon are trying to beat the living daylight out of each other, vying for supremacy, and you're there to ultimately end the conflict. Once you do manage to reach the final platform, you're greeted by a boss rush, facing enemies like Giga Bowser, Ganon, and Marx. No, not the communists. They are weakened slightly to make each fight more bearable, but it's still a great lead up to the true final fight. Galeem and Dharkon attack you simultaneously, but both take the opportunity to kill each other if one of them is down after dealing a certain amount of damage to them. It's an exhausting battle, yes, though braving through this intergalactic conflict, deciding the fate of the universe, results in a rewarding cutscene. You did it. The spirits you free throughout your adventures weave into a spiral of flame proceeding towards the light. Abby-Trot's beautiful singing of Lifelight in the background helps to provide a thrilling sense of closure to this 20-odd hour campaign. I personally had more fun with the Subspace Emissary myself, but the World of Light offered a concept that was executed well in my opinion for the short amount of time that it was in development for. The lack of platforming, which in my opinion wasn't a strong suit for Brawl's campaign, was compensated by the sheer amount of content and references World of Light has for the source material of the characters in Smash. Whereas Space Emissary was more on the original side of things, with never seen before enemies and worlds, World of Light strengthens what makes Ultimate so great in appreciating various game modes brought together as one here. It may not be the ideal adventure mode, but it certainly isn't a bad addition to this wonderful game. Why is the Pauline battle so hard to fight?